is suing his co-worker, Rodney Tillman, in the amount of $1,000. Mr. Adams claims he was injured during a work retreat and says Mr. Tillman is to blame. Mr. Tillman claims he panicked during the team-building exercise and says he unintentionally struck the plaintiff.
All right, Mr. Adams, you're suing Mr. Tillman for $1,000 in medical expenses as a result of a personal injury. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and how do you know the defendant?
We work together at a tech company.
Okay, and what do you do there?
We specialize in technology and parts, motherboards.
Oh, parts.
Yeah, parts.
Okay, how long, you say you've been doing that how long?
For 3 years.
Okay, and what do you do there?
I do SEO, search engine optimization.
So were you prior to this, were you friends at work?
No, we were not.
No.
Definitely not.
What was the relationship like at work?
It was cordial. Sometimes disagreements occurred, things of that nature.
It was not cordial. I was very uncomfortable the entire time.
I was comfortable.
Exactly. You shouldn't be that comfortable at work, playing loud music, being loud, being ratchet.
Playing loud music? You're allowed to play loud music?
I work in the cubicle, ma'am. My music can not reach that decibel that he's clearly stating it has.
Did you guys have a fight at work?
No.
No, ma'am.
I'm way more professional than that.
Okay, so you ended up going on some sort of retreat with some other employees, is that right?
That's right.
Whose idea was that?
When my friends came up with it at work, it was more of a group activity. It was outside of work. It was more of a group thing.
Okay, and how many people went on this retreat?
A dozen.
A dozen of you. And where was the retreat?
The retreat was at a lake, not too far from my office.
Okay, and this was an overnight camping thing?
It was.
So did you like camp outside?
We camped outside. We got there Friday night.
You had tents?
Set up with tents,
Okay.
bonfire, everything.
And how long was the retreat supposed to be, for a weekend?
It was just for a day and a half.
Okay, so
Friday
one night?
Yeah, one night.
Okay, and so who planned the activities for the retreat?
Janet, an associate we work with named Janet.
Is Janet here?
Janet's not here.
Oh, okay. So Janet said, hey guys, let's go on a camping trip. You had been on a camping trip before?
I never have.
That was your
I
first
don't
time?
do camping, yeah. I'm a little
Okay,
scared.
and you?
I've camped before.
Okay, so what happened on the camping retreat?
We got there on Friday. We set up. We assimilated into the campgrounds. Friday night, we all gathered around and got to know each other a little bit better.
Okay.
Into Saturday, we had activities.
Okay, for Friday night, did anything go on between you two? Did you get closer? Did you communicate? Anything happen with you two on Friday?
As per usual, I stayed clear of this gentleman.
Okay, so what happened between the two of you?
What happened between the two of us was there was a trust fall activity.
What's a trust fall?
A trust fall activity is an activity that people who are not too familiar with each other get around and do, usually at camps, and it requires somebody to get up on a ledge or a bench and fall back.
Oh, with the hope that the person's going to catch you? I never understood why
With the
people
hope,
did that.
right,
Right,
see?
right.
With the hope.
Right. Okay,
And no
so
hope.
you two got paired up in a trust fall.
That's right.
Whose idea was that?
I suggest.
Janet's?
No, it wasn't Janet's. It was mine. I suggested
Okay.
it to Rodney. I thought that it would be good for us to get to know each other a little bit better.
So you thought it was a great idea.
Right.
So you were going to fall into his arms?
Vice versa. Your
No,
Honor.
I was going to fall into his arms.
Oh, you were going to fall into his arms?
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
right.
Okay.
And this is all, in my opinion, we have been having issues the entire weekend.
Like what?
We had a dodgeball game that we did. It was supposed to be in good fun.
Right.
He focused on me and continuously pelted balls at me.
Your Honor, that was all in good spirit of the game of dodgeball, and not only did I target him, I targeted other associates
You mean
as well.
hitting them with the ball?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
And what else happened?
Besides that, he was very aggressive. I mean, the whole dodgeball thing made me feel very uncomfortable.
That's
Right.
the
I
game.
never wanted to even show up to this event, but I did because I was pressured into it with the hope that I would be caught, with the hope that I wouldn't be injured
Right.
during our dodgeball game. That's supposed to be
But
in
then
good
if
fun.
that had happened, why would you trust him in a trust fall?
Because, you know...
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry? The reason why I trusted him was because there were other people there and we were being watched. I didn't think that he would act like that in front of a group of people, but I was wrong.
So everybody's like in a circle to watch the trust fall?
Yes.
Now, before you did it, other folks did it, or were you the first?
There was one person ahead of me.
Okay, so tell me about this fall.
So this fall happens. He's geared up to go, and it's his turn. He gets up on the ledge. It's his turn to fall. So
Right.
I'm standing there getting ready to catch him. And as Janet explained,
What time of day and night?
this was about 3:30 p.m. He's getting ready to fall. I'm ready. He's ready.
Right.
He falls, and then he has his arms out.
Is that how you're supposed to fall?
That's how you're supposed to fall, with your arms out.
Right.
Now, mid-fall, something occurred in the air where he had this spasm attack and winds up hitting me in the face. And then from there, I fall, and then he falls on top of me, and I suffer and sustain a minor concussion.
So what happened was I fell back as the game is instructed. This gentleman...
Well, tell me the instructions.
So the instruction is you're supposed to trust the person behind you in order to catch you.
Right.
So I put my arms out like this, and then I fell back.
And what's the distance between the two people?
It was on
2 to 3 feet.
You don't have to do the fall, but let me see you. Show me how you two were situated.
Okay, so if the bench is here, and he's about...
I was a little higher.
About here.
Went like so.
Right? And he's, keep in
I'm
mind,
not going to do it again.
keep in mind, he's on a pedestal. Keep in mind, he's on a pedestal.
Wait, okay, so he's up on a pedestal. How high off the ground is the pedestal?
About 2 feet.
Oh, just 2 feet off.
It wasn't...
Okay, so stand in front of him. So you're up on the pedestal.
Yes.
Okay, do you say I'm about to fall?
There was a countdown.
Make sure you catch me. Oh, it's a countdown.
Yes.
So how does the countdown go?
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Who did the count? Janice.
you know she did. Yeah.
And she in control.
Okay, so just 3, 2, 1, and you whoop and went back. Okay.
No, I ain't go like this.
Okay,
Then
now,
the arm started flailing, and I get hit in the face.
I want you to switch spaces, and then you show me how he fell back. Don't fall back now.
I'm not going to fall back now.
Okay.
He fell back like that, and then something happened. And this arm went up and hit me in the face.
Right.
I fall. He falls on top of me, and my head is concussed into the ground.
Okay. Okay, you can go back to your places. So what do you think happened when you took the fall?
I clearly didn't trust him. He wasn't able to grab me in the proper way. When someone falls back...
You mean you lost it once he touched you?
I lost it once I wasn't appropriately grabbed. So
you didn't think he grabbed you right?
I was going to continue to fall.
Right. You thought
I had to break my fall.
I don't understand why you would have done this with him in the beginning.
Well,
just because there are other people around. I mean, you wouldn't. Look at all these people around, and you wouldn't do it here.
But the thing is, I wouldn't do it here with him again because I know how he is now.
Right.
But the thing is, we were paired together by random pairing. So I didn't want to be the one to be like, oh, well, I know I don't like him.
May I say something? It's less about the individual. It's more about the action and the activity in whole.
So you didn't even get you didn't even get to do a trust fall.
I didn't have that opportunity.
So they got you to the hospital or what?
Yeah, an associate drove me to the hospital. I was assessed by a medical expert who then proceeded to inform me.
Okay, let me see what you got for evidence now. I guess you don't have a doctor or anybody here.
No, not present.
So you brought in the intake papers from the hospital?
That's correct, Your Honor.
A CAT scan, a head injury kit for $20. I don't know what that is.
Nobody does.
No.
And 2 weeks of recovery and bed rest.
My whole weekend was shot.
So your deductible was $1,000.
That's correct.
And that's what you're asking him for.
That's correct.
Well, it seems to me that if you engage in a trust fall activity, then you basically are accepting that anything could happen. I mean, I think it's a dangerous thing to do. Somebody could panic, like he seems like he might have panicked. You should have brought Janice in here, because I really would like to hear Janice's side. But I think you just assumed the risk of what you did. Suppose he was too heavy. Suppose when you caught him, he hit you in the face and busted your lip. You know, anything could happen. It's like if we both agree to play baseball, or basketball is a better one, and we both go for the hoop and somebody gets knocked down, then you can't turn around and sue him because we base...
I'm just saying I agree.
Your Honor, due to the unforeseen circumstances...
I'm sensitive.
The unforeseen circumstances...
I'm not arguing with you. I'm explaining this to you. So you can't then get injured and say, oh, no, I'm hurt now. You gotta pay. You both agreed to play, and you take the consequences. The whole purpose is maybe you won't trust the other person, so something could go wrong, and it did in this case. So I guess the relationship at work hasn't gotten any better.
Of course
it's not.
As a matter of fact, he sent out an email, not only to myself, but to everyone at work, CCing my boss and all my coworkers.
I did.
I
did.
Basically demanding that I paid him for his injuries.
Okay, well, that's not happening. At least it's not happening in court. What happens at your job, that's between the two of you. I'm ready to rule. Judgment for the defendant. Good luck to both of you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim in the amount of $269. Ms.